Hello and welcome, and in this video we're going to give an overview on the procedural door. So first of all, what is the tool? So it's a tool that can procedurally generate sci-fi looking doors. As you could see here, I have built here 3 examples, all built with the same tool, and we can then change certain values so we can get variation in shapes and so on. There is also a material that we can control in Unity, so we can change color or the damage on edges and so on. When loading the tool in Unity, everything is set up for you, from colliders to also scripts and triggers. When I'm pressing play now, you will see that all of the doors will instantly be working out of the box. And here we have a small setup to test the doors. And I also grabbed a character controller from the asset store. If you would be interested in it, you can check in the description the link. So when I walk up to a door, it's going to automatically open and close when I get out of the trigger. Also with the big door, it's automatically going to open and close. So this is really nice to have, that we can play around with certain styles of doors and sizes, and then we can quickly test them in game. So now here for the tool itself, I drag and drop the Houdini file in Unity and gonna quickly show some of the features. So we can easily go and change size of the door, like we can make it higher if we would like that. We can also increase the width of the door. So it's very customizable in what you're looking for. And you can see it also works pretty fast here. Then I also have a previewer state where it's going to preview some of the details I will be adding. As you can see here, we have some sci-fi details automatically added to the surface. Now I built in a previewer because this might slow some of the process for building shapes. I also temporarily hide the colliders here just to show you some of the features. So I have a tab here for door settings and also have a tab here for the frame. So for example, we can decide the space between the panels. So right now I have a large amount of space. We can also decide which panels are shown, because we don't always, for example, we don't always need all the panels. Like maybe you need these 3 specific panels. Then I've also built in a preview mode, and this shows where panels are going to be placed. And this is just a preview mode, so don't mind the shader. We then can quickly start blocking out where the shapes are of the panels. And this is then a quick example of the door. And then here we have a similar setup for the doors, where I can tweak some of these positions. So as you can see, we have some control in where shapes are and how the door is going to look. And then lastly, we also have a built-in baker, which allows us to bake the normal map and a mask to use in Unity. So we can instantly bake our result here in Unity and then put our material on them to get the final look. So we don't have to go in other software back and forward to get our finished model. We can do everything in Unity. Then a quick overview in Houdini. So we have our HD here, and we have different parts. So our left door, right door frame, and we also have here our collider. I've built most of the system in one network, so I know where everything is and it's easy to make changes. And then later on, we're gonna reference them to each other. So we're gonna start by procedurally modeling some panels. And we're going to use a very cool tool here, which is the surface detailer, and it can go from this to this. So that's very nice to have. And I'm going to use this node multiple times. So then I add a few more details to the door. Then we're going to build up the top part of the frame, which is this. And I'm going to build up the side part of the frame, which is this space. So they share all a very similar approach, where I start with a box and then boolean certain shapes in them. So we get a little bit more interesting shape. And then thanks to the surface detail, we then have automatically some sci-fi looking details placed for you. Then everything combined, we have this model, and then the missing pieces can then be mirrored to the other side. I'm also going to uniquely unwrap this part, so the left and the right door are in theory using the same UV space. Then I split up the model and create a high poly. As you can see here, there are some round edges going on. And on this high poly, I'm going to save some information that we can render out in a mask. So I have the edge saved here, and I've also have some color IDs saved, so I can use this in Unity for my material to assign different colors and also edge damage and so on. For my low poly, I'm doing another approach than simply poly reducing the high poly. And then here at the bottom, we have the complete result, and we have some bunch of null nodes, which can then be referenced to other nodes as needed. And here back in Unity, I've integrated the door a little bit more by adding some side models that I've made in the sci-fi panel generator. And I can see that my door is fitting nicely in the scene. So with this tool, I have now the option to build multiple variation on this door. So that was it for the overview for the video, and I hope you will start watching the tutorial soon.